Hello, it's Ron back from Ron's YouTube channel where we cover a lot of drone gear, drone tech, drone firmware updates, and today is a drone firmware update. We're out here with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and this is the latest firmware update. I'm going to read off real quick here, 01.00.0450. And it added support for prop guards and fixed some known issues. I know prop guards aren't your favorite topic here, and we don't have any prop guards right now, but we will try to get some in, for review purposes only here. But we mainly want to test this firmware out here to see if it make sure it hasn't introduced any bugs or issues, because the drone was flying perfectly before. No known issues, but sometimes these firmware updates can introduce little problems, and that's the whole purpose of this test flight today. Just like a normal fly around the beach here, testing a little signal strength, testing how the drone maneuvers and handles and so on, and of course, try some camera functions. I got a little bit bad news when I headed down here. The beach was a nice sunny day, but these big clouds have rolled in. So it looks like we're going to get a little kind of low light test here today with unless the sun pops back out, but I kind of don't think it is at this point. Look at the clouds are here to stay, but anyhow, so we're going to go into a desktop portion of this video where we show the firmware being applied and how to apply it, and exactly what happens during the update process. And then, we'll jump back out to the field again, for the rest of this flight test in the field here. So, okay, folks, hope you enjoyed this video today. Just sit back and relax here, and we'll be back quickly with the desktop portion, and then back out to the field again. So, buckle up, folks, and get ready for the ride here. Okay, our friends over at DJI were busy rolling out firmware updates over the holidays. So we already did a Mini 2 firmware update video. So now we're moving on to the Mini 3 Pro. And I suppose the plain Mini 3 got the same firmware update also. So, okay, let's get going here. Let's fire up. This is the DJI RC controller. So let's fire it up here. Short press, long press. Okay, it's firing up here, and we'll fire the drone up here. Now it has the standard battery in it right now, and the buttons here on the top. So short press, long press. Okay, you see the propellers come to life there, and we'll kind of aim the drone somewhat towards us. Okay, so we're gonna let everything boot up here, and once everything connects, we should get a little warning in the top of the controller here that we have some kind of update. Well, it went right to the screen. So let's see what happens here. Sometimes you have to go back to the main window. There you go. Fly safe requires an update. So let's start a screen recording here. To start a screen recording, you pull down twice from the top there, and you hit screen recording, which is right there. Now, of course, you won't get sound on this recording unless you hook a mic up down on the bottom here, but we don't need the sound in this case. So, okay, we're going to hit the update button up here, and it says network connection required. So it did not automatically connect to my home network, so that 2 pull downs over here. Let's turn Wi-Fi on, and it'll connect in a second there. It doesn't happen automatically. There we go. It connected to my home network. So let's go back here again, and here we go. Now, new DJI Mini 3 Pro firmware update available, 211 megabytes. So there's the big update we were hoping to find. So let's hit install, and let's hit the more button. And here you go. You'll have this on the screen recording here, which I'll show you. But I'll read to you what's available. New firmware available, 211 megabytes. Mini 3 Pro version 01.00.0450, and adds support for propeller guard and fix some known issues. So yes, so I don't have any prop guards at the moment, maybe I'll reach out to my friends over at Start RC to see if they have some prop guards so I could test that. It's nice that they, added the ability to use prop guards. A lot of people, prop guards is kind of a controversial issue here. A lot of people don't like them, but they're good if you want to fly these things indoors so you don't mess the walls up in your house and so on. Outdoors, it's another story. They can actually help you get caught up in a tree easier than not using them. But I guess there's still some advantages to using them outdoors too if you're flying near some brick walls or something like that. But okay, so we're quickly going through the update here. We're at 54% already. Got a fully charged battery on the drone and the controller. And when this is all done, we're going to take this outside and do a little flight test to make sure everything's still working properly, to make sure that the update did not break any of the features, or actually the more important thing, just the basic flying ability of the drone, satellites, signal strength, flight characteristics, things like that. Hopefully all that is working just as they were before. And like I always say, I don't have any prop guards right now, but I will try to get a hold of some and test that out, in the near future, for anybody who would be interested in that. So not a giant update here. Of course, we don't know when it says fix known issues. We do not know what known issues they were. It's the generic bug fixes they always give you. We don't know what this stuff is. Everybody wishes they would give you greater detail on these notes here, these known issues and bug fixes and so on and so forth, but that's just the way it is. And DJI is not the only drone company that does that. Some of the other ones do the same thing. They don't really tell you what some of these firmwares are fixing, but that's why I'm here to test them for you. So before you jump in, you go watch my video, watch my test flight, and see if anything looks like it's broken. So okay, we're almost done here. This is a quick one here. So if you've never done a firmware update on your, say you just got the Mini 3 brand new for Christmas, you've never done a firmware update before, this kind of tutorial on how to do it here. You saw just my steps here. It's nothing more to really say. My only con at the beginning was I did not connect the Wi-Fi first. So I did my of course, my Mini 2, which of course used the phone with that, because this controller, the DJI RC, would not work with the Mini 2. The phone always had an internet connection, so that wasn't an issue there. So I forgot that I'm on a device that doesn't necessarily have its own internet connection. We've slowed down a little bit here at 89% here, and folks, bear with me here. My voice is, it hasn't completely recovered from this head cold that I had over the holidays, so I don't have all the voice. I'm gonna cut this video off here and let it finish. The drone's starting to reboot itself here, so that means that we're getting somewhere on this video here. You heard the chime, you see the gimbal kind of calibrating itself. The propeller has moved a little bit, so yeah, we've restarted the drone once, so it may happen again before it's all done, because we're still at 91% here. All right, folks, firmware update successful. Restart if device powers off, and the drone did power off, so let's restart it. All right, restarting the drone. So everything went really smooth here. Just make sure you have a good internet connection. You stay connected throughout the process of the firmware update, and don't turn your drone or your controller off, unless it tells you to. So okay, we'll wait until we get a connection back here. So I'm going to X out of this here and get back to the main screen. And it already says the Mini 3 firmware was installed, so we'll get rid of that. I didn't hit it precisely. These little X's, you have to hit it. I say I might have to hit it 5 times. There you go. Got to go away. All right, so let's go into the app here itself. And let's go over to these 3 dots here on the right hand side, and let's go over to the about, and let's check. Okay, aircraft firmware, check for updates. Okay, it says I got my screen recording thing in the way, but it probably is up to date. Let me check for the Fly Safe database update for your firmware's update. So we're all updated at this point here. So Go back out here again. Okay, the next step here will be to go out for a little test flight and again see how the new firmware is doing. Again, we don't need prop guards to test the prop guard feature, but we just want to test the reliability of the drone out in the field to make sure that no bugs or anything were introduced with this firmware update. Okay, so stay tuned for the much more exciting outdoor flying portion of this video. And home point's updated, even inside, so that's good, right? All right, I'll see you out in the field, folks. All right, folks, we're out here in the field today with the Mini 3 Pro with the new firmware update. It's kind of poor lighting conditions here, so let's go into our Pro settings and see if we can make things look a little bit better here. I'm going to put a little, put the white balance a little, hotter today rather than cooler. Let's go in here and check our shutter here. We're filming a 4K 30, so ideally your frame rate should be on 60, but we'll keep our ISO at 100 here, and we may have to play around with that shutter during the flight. Looks okay right here, so I may have to make some adjustments. So sorry, when I came out to the field here, it was kind of sunny, but these clouds quickly rolled in and took over to kind of put the kibosh in my test flight here. But what we would call this a low light test here, or in other words, really it's a poor lighting condition rather than low light. So we're going to fly down here towards the Ventnor Boardwalk and kind of test our kind of signal, and range to see if that has been affected at all by this new firmware update that we just applied. So here we go. We're going to get a little altitude here, get up, we're about 127, 128 feet up here. So that should be well high enough. Nothing to hit down here really, unless you get it kind of inland over some high-rise condos. So here we go. We're flying over the berm or dune, whatever you prefer to call it here, and you can see the Ventnor Boardwalk appear on your left-hand side there. It's a few people out today. It doesn't look like a nice day, but it is a nice winter day because it's warm. It's well into the 50s here with not much wind, so it's a good day to get out and about in early January here, 2023. Happy New Year to everybody out in the field here. Okay, so people walking around the beach there, so we're going to stay strictly over the berm here where, the only people will be on the crosswalks. We'll watch those crosswalks. If anybody's walking across, we will, just slow down and let them do their crossing and then continue on here. So we're out over 1,500 feet now, 1,600 feet. So a signal, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of the RC is in the white, still got all 5 bars. We're out over 2,000 feet here. Things looking beautiful here. Of course, I am aiming the controller directly at the drones. Now we're at 2,100 feet. We still have a full signal strength according to the little indicator in the upper right hand. So I don't see any issues with the signal whatsoever here. It has been degraded or affected anyway by the firmware update. So we're going to come on back here now, and you see we're at 2154 out, and we're at 82% battery life. We're sporting 32 satellites, so we got a lot of sats here. You see this, kind of the sun way down there, buried behind those clouds, but it is brighter down there. So it did change our exposure a little bit, but still manageable here. We're still at 60 frames per second, our 5600 Kelvin white balance. So we'll come down a little bit, 101. We're kind of getting back here, and you see the end of the boardwalk there. So we're, on our way back to where we started here. And the drone is performing well. I see no issues as far as flight capabilities. All is flying beautifully here. Maybe we should stop here and kind of maybe check our exposure and focus a little bit here. See if we can make any improvements here. I don't think we can. Sometimes you can get in here and change exposure, but I don't think right here. Now, you should probably see I'm not really recording video. I'm only going to screen recording. Again, it's not that nice of a day here, so it's not any video that needs to be saved in any way. So let's go back into our Pro settings. Let's see if we can make a few improvements here. We can move the shutter a little bit, faster here, but of course that makes it, almost too dark here. We want to blow that sky out too much, but also we don't want to crush the shadows on the ground here. So let's go 120. It's still a little dark there, but at least the sky, at least you can see a little color in the sky, a little of the warmth of the sun per se. With the faster shutter there. So we're going to bring this down a little bit lower here, see if we get a better angle that affects things. You see the auto zoom going on there. I'm forcing that by tapping around the screen here, but making it focus, not zoom, all the autofocus there. So yeah, not a whole lot you can do with a bad light day like this. It's just, it's just not a good day. Lighting is bad. You're at this type of day, you're either doing one of two things. You're either crushing the shadows, which I am right now, or you're blowing the exposure out. We got the exposure to the sky pretty good, but this drone has built-in HDR. So there's a lot of HDR button that you have to hit or setting. It just automatically uses HDR when it thinks it needs HDR. And of course, this is a HDR situation here. So, okay, that's a little bit better there. We're going to go back into our pro settings here. And, after all this messing around, I think I'm going to go back to a slower shutter speed, maybe 100, maybe go back to 80. Right there our exposure meter there said we were 0. So the exposure meter says we're exposed well. So we'll ride with that for right now. You see my histogram's kind of a mess there. I got a little bit, it's a little bit too high on the left-hand side, and you got a little bit high on the right. The middle's all kind of funky. So that's a funky histogram, which, not unexpected here. So let's fly down this way and see if we still have the same good signal and range strength that we had, going north here as we're kind of going south here. I say this, and people always say, well, the Allen doesn't run north to south or whatever, but, I'm going to say north to south. So, here we come across we're getting up to the Margate Fishing Pier, and there's like the kind of the clubhouse for the pier there. If you remember, they have meetings and stuff in there. You can just kind of hang out. So, again, we're back here crushing the shadows again. You see, I got my maps working over there. I kind of, I didn't get maps beforehand, but I think I've cached the maps in for this area. So, we got our maps going there for us. So, again, right here, we're at 1,200 feet out. You see the signal, the RC up top in the right-hand corner. It's all white bars. Now, when that degrades, it'll turn to like kind of two different colors, like a orangish red color, I think, one or the other. I think one's where it's kind of losing and one's where it's real bad. But right now we have, real good in both there. So we're at 1,700 feet out here, 162 feet up in the air. Let's see if we can line up. Maybe sometimes the camera looks better in photo than it does video. Like here, it's not crushing the shadows on the ground quite as much, but it is blowing the sky out pretty good too. So again, it's good. It's kind of day. It's all a compromise solution here. In these types of lighting conditions here. Now there you can see a little bit of definition of the sun there. I've kind of crushed the ground and the shadows. Look at the shadows to the right there over the buildings. I've completely crushed them to make, to see the definition of the sun there. Now, play with white balance there. That made it even worse probably. You can see you can see some detail in the houses on the ground there, but now the sun is completely blown out. You don't see any detail there at all in the sky on the on the colors and so. So we'll do a little what do you call a bracket exposure. Maybe I could piece these together as an HDR photo. Hopefully capture one where the sun looked good and capture one where the ground looked good. That's the beauty of multi-exposures. You can get both areas kind of looking good here. So we'll look back towards the pier here. Yeah, but just outside the photo, photo class 101 here. Look at that crazy cloud bank hanging there. So outside of this photography lesson here, the drone is performing perfectly for me right now as far as everything. Signal strength, flight controls, camera functions, settings. Everything is working a-okay. So flying down here over the pier again here, over the beach and the dunes, just trying to avoid anybody. There's a Christmas tree. Oh, you know what? Let's show you the Christmas tree on the beach. Have you ever seen a Christmas tree on the beach? Well, you're going to see one in a minute here. I'm going to fly down towards the Margate City Christmas tree here on the beach here, back here by the dunes here. There it is, and I'm going to try to get closer here, of course. And I just remember this drone has has a zoom, has a nice zoom, and you can zoom in photos as well as pictures. Well as video. Some Air 2S, a lot of people complain that you can't zoom for photos, but this one you can. So there it is. It's decorated. I think it's decorated with shells. You have the shells around there where you can write your name on. So it's a nice thing for the holidays. Oh, look, here comes the truck. Let him pass by here. He's got his lights on here. Maybe a surfer going down there. I don't see any boards on top, but who knows? Should have put active track on and followed him, but well, we're focused in on the Christmas tree for the holidays here. It's the holiday. Christmas is over now, but it's not that far away. So let's go in here and try to get a real good shot of the old tree here. So maneuver around here. I don't know if it's best to have that that blown out background there, or better just have the houses back there. It's always in this kind of tricky lighting. It's always a tough decision which angle to get that make things better. But get her lined up here. I think that's going to be the best there. Maybe we can play with our that what I just did there kind of locks the target, the focus in there. So the tree should be in perfect focus because I locked focus. So okay, we took our 3 brackets. Hopefully it turned out pretty good there. So let's go back to video here. Of course, look, our pro settings were all we're way underexposed here. So we'll just say auto for the second. Go back to Dr. Auto settings here, and check our histogram there, which is right above the maps. Sorry, folks. I should have made that maps. I should have hid that, made it smaller, not had that take over so much of the real estate here. Sorry about that, but there's our histogram. Not looking too bad there. There's that truck that pulled up. Still can't tell what he's doing. I don't see anybody surfing. So we'll go down here by the pier here. And you see this crazy exposure. It almost looks like I'm filming in black and white at times here. It's so little color in here, but that's good. That's just, that's just the clouds. It's just conditions of photography. You have to learn to deal with this type of stuff. Maybe in the old days, I'd put my black and white film in here, and you filmed it all in black and white. Then I wouldn't have to worry about the color cast and things like that. But look down there towards Atlantic City. The buildings are getting some light on them here. They don't look too bad there as far as the color and everything, and the ocean rolling in here. So this is a good little camera on the Mini 3 Pro, of course. It's got a just a little bit smaller than 1-inch sensor, and it's got a nice wide open aperture. I do not have any ND filters or anything on today. Because of the once I saw the conditions, I didn't want to keep any light from getting in, so I didn't put any filters on here. But our frame rates are decent today, even with no ND filters. So all in all, I'm pretty satisfied here. Of course, if I had the Mavic 3 with its 4/3 camera, I could probably do a little bit better. I know it doesn't have as wide open as aperture as this does, so maybe that would counteract a little bit. But I think I would get more color information in, with a much bigger sensor gathering more all information, and not just more light, but more information in general. And I do love the Hasselblad colors on the Mavic 3. But I digress here. I don't want to turn this into a Mavic 3 video when we're flying the good old Mini 3 Pro here. So, all right, let's fly over the fishing pier here and fly out to the end and try some of our tracking features. It has a suite of active track type features, just kind of like the bigger DJI drones do. So let's go out here and we'll use our tracking and see if we can do a nice little orbit of the pier there. Just the map really works well with the with the pier there. So yeah, we're over the pier here, kind of right over the pier now. So we're going to back out over the ocean, get us some distance from it, so we get a little bit better perspective there. We want to see the end of the pier. There we go. Maybe just a little bit tad further there away out towards the ocean here. So that looks pretty darn good there, I would say. So we're going to draw our box over the end of the pier there, and it's going to identify it there. Now see, it's put the spotlight here. So and then we're going to hit the point of interest. And it already gives me the option to orbit there, so I can change the speed of the orbit there. So I'm going to make it a little bit faster there. And then we're going to hit the go and start our recording. You have to start the recording manually there. So it's starting its orbit now. It's got the home point locked in. See the little kind of like that little, I don't know what you call that little icon that indicates like a point, like a point in the map or something. So okay, it's doing a perfectly smooth orbit there, working real well. So no problems with the active track suite of things with this update. So they're working really well. So okay, so to get rid of that point of interest, you can hit that X button above the little kind of mapping symbol there, and that'll get you out of the active track suite of, there you go. See, just went all the way here. So now you're back into your regular mode here again. And, so and we'll turn the recording off there. And again, most of this video here is not a keeper today since we've talked about these conditions. So, okay, I guess it's about time to, bring this guy back here. I think the test flight went perfectly well. This thing flies for I have, I think I have the good battery, the extended life battery in it, and this thing flies forever on that extended life battery. Like it flies for like 40 minutes, and we're not going to bore you with a 40-minute test flight here. So I'm going to go to the 3 dots. I'm going to do a return to home, but I don't want the climb to like 400 feet there. So we're going to bring that way down because there's nothing high between me and the drone here, so it's no use for it to fly at 400 feet and to come back. So we'll initiate a return to home, probably using the button on the screen on the left-hand side. So we have 2 options there. You do not want to hit that land when you're over water. Make sure you pay attention to what you're doing and hit return to home. Again, if you're over land, like if over that beach, it wouldn't have been so bad, but you won't want to do that over water or a bunch of trees. So here it comes, and it did. I set it at 180, and it's come back at 179. So that's almost perfect there. Making a beeline back to me. This doesn't have the intelligent return to flight home like the Mavic 3 does, which I'll go into detail on that in the Mavic 3 video. This is kind of just more of a old-fashioned, just come right back to you. So it's important to get that return to home height set correctly, to what best fits your needs. So yeah, I'm not going to let it come all the way down land because I took off in kind of a, I have a landing pad down, but I'm on top of the dunes in the seating area. It's a little, tight in here, so this does not have precision landing. So I will not. I'm going to stop it manually. And Ron has precision landing, but DJI doesn't on this drone. So I will stop it at some point at 35 feet here and do my own precision landing. So I'm going to get this down here nice and safe here. Nice gentle landing here. You can see the map there. So here we come down. In fact, I'm going to do I'm probably not going to show you landed to the ground. I'm going to just do the outro here. So listen, folks. We hope you enjoyed the this test flight of the Mini 3 Pro with a new firmware update. I've already read the numbers off. The numbers will be down below. So if you have any questions about this firmware update or Mini 3 in general, just put them down in the comments down below. Mini 3 is a great drone. We on Drone Nation, we voted as Drone of the Year recently. So I mean, it really is. One my favorite mini drone. The first mini drone I really, almost consider and use like it's a full size drone. It's that good. So always glad to see them updating it and doing things to make it even better than it is. Okay, that's about it. We're going to wrap this video up here. Now, if you got anything out of this video here, want to give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're already not a subscriber, and ring that bell notification so you'll know when we post more videos. And we will see you in the next one, folks.